My name is Chris Boreland. I work for a company called Fugro. I'm the Commercial Excellence Manager within our global power service line. I won't introduce Fugro. I know I've got 8 minutes, so I'll say just go to www.fugro.com and you'll find out a little bit more there as well. I want to spend a couple of seconds on this title to this presentation. So I will be discussing Fugro's digital twin solution. You can probably see what I'm going to be aiming at because you can see the digital twin in this image. But it's for network operators across the power markets, and it's very important to sort of understand that there are complex processing and publishing steps that need to be in place prior to getting to the digital twin stage. And a lot of this revolves around the ability to handle geodata scale. So I will cover about that scale area, but also go into the digital twin side of things as well. Just before I get into it, the real world issue that we're kind of sort of trying to address for a lot of asset management companies and power companies that operate assets out there. There's sort of 3 core business critical requirements: reducing time and effort, which is mainly focused on extending asset life cycles, improving the current inspection practices and increasing the frequency of inspections, reduction of costs by having less people in the field, increasing asset life, and better CapEx and OpEx budgeting by using information that they can glean from geodata is very specific to this market, and then also increasing auditability. That focus on how asset managers can improve their visibility on their assets across their network, and how we can deliver these to these clients. Well, there's 3 bullets there. We can look for replacement of their traditional inspection services with remote inspection services, creation of data-driven asset management through digitalization, digital twin, and then also leveraging of 3D geodata with simulation and analysis. I could spend all day kind of on this slide because there's a lot of other inputs that go into it, but pretty much our Fugro's room solution answers kind of all 3. And what we're trying to do is, in a nutshell, move from that image on the left, people out in the ground taking notes, to a remote solution using aerial LiDAR or similar going across the client's network. A little bit of history on the rooms solution first. So our foundation client was Ergon Energy, now Energy Queensland. They have 150,000 linear kilometres of overhead network stretching across all of Queensland. So they had a big issue with the timescales for inspection programs and actually the work programs then that came out of that as well. So they wanted to find a remote sensing solution that was able to particularly answer their vegetation monitoring and lower that cost as well. They went to the market. They couldn't quite find what they wanted because it didn't really exist at that time in 2007. And on the next slide, I'll tell you why. So we worked with them, partnered with them, and in 2013, once we rolled out the roam solution, we were able to save them about 40% on their initial cutting costs through their entire network. So as I said, we did have to go through pretty much nearly all our current delivery programs and change a lot of them because there was a number of different sort of factors working there around data acquisition. We used to fly low and slow with helicopters, but when you're covering 150,000 linear kilometers of network every year, we needed to find a better solution. So we now use fixed wing aircraft flying higher, but collecting a very high resolution point cloud. Processing was another big one. All asset managers are kind of wanting the data yesterday. So we couldn't go for months and months waiting to deliver all that information to them. So we had to build an engine that harnessed AI, automated processing, and actually be able to do it in a very fast. So we built the ROAMS engine really to do the processing at scale and used really AWS in there as well. Our client at the time, and the clients utilize it as well, and now they also then wanted a way of visually looking at that data, but also then an analytics suite that was reporting that information through as well. So the business case to our clients was really reduction of cost through OPEX, CAPEX, particularly in their vegetation management and condition-based monitoring, increase in revenue from reduced unplanned outages, and then reducing their risk across their network as well. So how did we do it? So the Roams engine itself builds a digital twin of our client's network. We pretty much model every single pole, every single wire. We take the real world attributes. So we have pole heights, linear length of conductors per span, and we do that for every single voltage across their network. So not just the big towers that you see out, running around the country, but those final little wires that go into people's houses and things like that. So it allowed our clients to build a complete asset inventory, and then also along with that ability to even get that granular ability to model pole lean, we could then start to look at changes over time as well. But we could also do a lot more. So another service that we provide to the clients is asset matching. So we take their pole locations and our pole locations and span locations, and we match that up, which improves all the positional accuracy across their entire corporate systems, which is hugely beneficial for sending crews out to the field and also looking at new build programs and things like that. As you could have seen from the earlier slides, vegetation was one of the key drivers of the original solution. So with that high resolution digital twin model, we were able to then start to get intrusions down to distances of centimeters and very accurate. So traditionally, the foot patrols would have been a person with a clipboard looking along the right-of-way corridor and estimating the distance of a tree to the network. We could now, because it was a mathematical model, be able to just have a very exact centimeter accurate distance to that. And because we were looking beyond the corridor as well, we could also report fall-in. So those trees that sit outside could also be monitored and brought in as well. Network clearance is another big one for our clients. So this is actually the lowest point on every single span. All our clients have a regulatory requirement. So they do. So with the model, we could get exact measurements to the ground across all their spans, and therefore give them information on high-risk locations and identify those sites that could potentially be failing over the next couple of years. I know we're going over a little bit here, the last few slides. Everything was then wrapped up and delivered to our clients through the Roams Analytics. So it's a fully online service, which allows our clients to go through, look at each of the records, look at the clearances, look at the pole IDs, pole heights, whatever they're looking for, and start to assess and build work programs from that. The solution is also then integrated into the 3D visualization tool, and this allows our clients to go in and load in the LiDAR, see their digital twin of their network. They're able to click layers on and off and be able to then assess and look at the scoping, just again, all driving that inspection process out of the field and into a digital environment. Excuse me. So we're not just content with that area as well. We have built a static model, as we called it, but we're now moving to a dynamic model, so we can actually bring in like temporal changes. So we can now adjust the conductor position based on wind speed, load at the time of survey, and allow them to report on intrusions coming not just through the static band, but right across the entire swing of that network as well. And another new item as well, which is actually driving our clients more into a risk-based program, is actually then species identification with regard to trees using the LiDAR, and then also looking at health and relative vigor as well. This is starting to become very powerful because not only can the asset managers have an idea of a digital twin of their own electrical attributes, but they can also have a digital twin of the surrounding environment and the trees, and build programs based on species, health, susceptibility to disease and things like that. And very finally, just to wrap it all up, it is built to scale. So at the moment, we're monitoring over 8 million bays globally, and that kind of translates into about 6 petabytes of data collected and processed. So it is a solution that's built on scale to help asset managers across the power networks. Thank you.